One of the things that we hear a lot about now is, free solar. You see all these ads. Hey, you can get solar panels, installed for free on your home, and it makes it sound like it's some sort of benefit that the government is, just handing out solar panels to everybody. Can you explain what those promotions, typically, actually entail, and what are maybe some of the hidden costs or ongoing fees that consumers might not be expecting when they kind of, listen to those ads?
Yeah, we see this a lot, right? We see this a lot on social media and online. That the governor is giving away free solar storage and a new roof, and that such and such company, and it's free solar. And we actually have folks that call us and ask if we do the free solar. And my typical response is, sure, we do the free solar that you pay for the next 25 years or so, right? Because that really is what it is. And so, um, as we all know, that nothing is free. And if it's a big ticket item or a big piece that could be part of your home or an item that you wanted to purchase, that probably free is not the way to go because you're going to get what you pay for. So um, it's unfortunate that this tactic has been used in our industry, and it makes our jobs a lot harder. I would say there's a lot of confusion around this in particular, but a lot of pieces of solar, because again, solar is relatively new to consumers, and not everyone is buying solar all the time. So it's usually the first time they've looked at it, and if the first thing that they're hearing is that it's free, they're generally being misled and usually disappointed and frustrated through the process of finding out how this really works. So what the free solar really is called is a really a free installation. It's another way of saying like no money down, is really what it comes down to, because again, nothing is free and you are going to pay for solar. Now, there's different ways to go about that, and I know we'll probably talk about that here in more layers moving forward, but it's really comes down to a type of financing, and just about how you're acquiring the system.
Tell me a little bit more about that with some of these free solar offers. Do I actually own those solar panels, or does somebody else own the solar panels and they're just putting them on my roof, or like, how does that ownership structure impact my responsibility, also for maybe like future maintenance or repairs that have to be done?
Yeah, really good question. Again, this is more of the nuance, right, behind, and why we spend a lot of time educating customers or potential customers on how this really works. Um, at the end of the day, this typically what the free solar advertising or clickbait is really what it is, right? It's usually lead generation. The folks to have you click on the free solar and fill out your name and address so that folks can contact you and try to get you to sign up. Um, what that really is referring to is what's called a third party ownership model, or TPO is the acronym that's often used in our industry. And what that is really a type of financing. So um, really, when we pull back a little bit and we look at how can I go solar, it comes down to three basic options. You can pay for it outright, right? So if you have your own cash on hand or access to your own financing, essentially in terms of the installer, it's cash, right? So it's a cash payment you're making to acquire the solar system. Otherwise, you're using a loan product. So a lot of times those are no money down as well. And so like we're running, no money down. We've been doing it for a while now. So we want to keep the no, we don't want to have a barrier to entry for the consumer as well. Make it really easy and turnkey. So you can do the two ownership models are either paying for it outright with your own funds or using a finance loan to pay for the system by owning it. And in those cases, the owner, being now the homeowner, was going to get the all of the local and federal and state incentives that go with investing in solar. And the other option, the third one, would be the third party ownership. And those typically fall under either what's called a lease or a power purchase agreement, or PPA as it's commonly called. Leases are not as common, and especially now we don't see them as much, but the PPA kind of falls under that connotation of lease. It's a third party who owns it. Typically, it's financing. So there's a financing company that owns the system, and they're going to take the federal, state, and local incentives, and they're going to use that as part of the financial mechanism to pass back through a lower cost of um, electricity to the customer. Most of the time, you're paying with a power purchase agreement, you're paying a reduced cost per kilowatt hour rate. So we'll say right now, we'll say in Massachusetts, right, most of us are paying in the high 30s, 30 cents, 36 cents, 39 cents per kilowatt hour for electricity. So if you can get solar at 22 cents or 25 cents, you have significant savings. You're saving 30% on your electric costs by going solar and realizing a lower cost per kilowatt hour. So that's really what these models are. So they've made it much easier to go solar by saying it's free solar or free installation, and you're getting a reduced cost of electricity, and that generally speaking, the maintenance is covered for the most part by the financial company. So the finance company is going to say it's maintenance free, and they're typically going to, under certain terms and conditions, they're going to pay another third party to maintain that system if there's anything that comes up. With us, I think it's a little different. So it's one stop shop. So we look at it as financing. Our customers get the same system, the same service, the same customer service, attention to detail that we provide all of our customers, regardless of finance type. And we have a lot of customers that pay cash and a lot that do loans, and we are now offering a third party ownership model, or PPA, power purchase agreement, that the customer can take advantage of for really aggressive upfront savings. But we're going to be the ones that the finance company pays to maintain that system, as opposed to a lot of the other model, and the free solar model that we see a lot is a third party sales organization selling that project to a third party installer, selling that project to a third party servicing company, and then you have a third party finance company as well. So you're talking about the homeowner having to navigate 3 and 4 different third parties that they talk to throughout the project and thereafter, and that does create confusion. It also creates miscommunication, the ball being dropped, expectations not being met, and things like that. So this is why that free solar verbiage is really frustrating for especially local installers like us. We spend a lot of time unwinding what that is for real, and guiding customers on the different options on how to go solar, and that being one of them. But again, it's not free.